The 5 biggest problems Erik Ten Hag must solve at Manchester United. Ten Hag brought an end to Manchester United's 6-year trophy drought by securing the Carabao Cup in his debut season. However, the initial optimism from that successful campaign has faded away. Currently, Manchester United is experiencing their poorest start to a season in 61 years, and the pressure on the team is intensifying. In this video, we'll explore 5 of the major challenges they are currently facing. Recruitment. Let's start by addressing one of the major concerns: recruitment. During the recent Derby defeat, Gary Neville pointed out a critical issue with the squad's composition. The central midfield, for example, consists of 3 attacking players: Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen and Mason Mount, all vying for the number 10 role, with little emphasis on defensive capabilities. The questionable decision to spend £60 million on Mount raises questions about the thinking behind such acquisitions. Continuing with the recruitment theme, a noteworthy question emerges. Are players being acquired to benefit the club or to suit the manager's preferences? 8 of Ten Hag's signings either come from or have ties to the Eredivisie, a league not widely recognised as a top-tier footballing hub. Gary Neville criticised this approach, stating that allowing a manager to dictate recruitment policy is not how great clubs should be managed. Rasmus Højlund, while possessing significant potential, currently lacks experience and is tasked with leading the line for one of the world's biggest clubs. Criticising his goal tally in 7 league appearances seems unfair given his current development stage. Concerns also arise regarding Antony, the second most expensive signing for Manchester United, who, according to Jonathan Northcroft, has yet to prove himself deserving of a starting position. On the other hand, Andre Onana's performances raises doubts about whether he is the right goalkeeper for United or a definite improvement over David De Gea. Jadon Sancho, a £70 million acquisition just 2 summers ago, finds himself on the sidelines and unlikely to play for the club again due to the reported issues with Ten Hag on social media. This expensive asset may be sold at a reduced price in January. Mason Greenwood's situation should not be overlooked either. Reflecting on post-Ferguson years, much of United's decision-making appears reactive, from managerial appointments to transfer market acquisitions. The list of the club's 6 most expensive signings, including Paul Pogba, Antony, Harry Maguire, Sancho, Romelu Lukaku and Angel Di Maria, presents a concerning pattern of underwhelming performances and off-field drama. This suggests a potential lack of due diligence before player acquisitions and unfavourable conditions for player growth and performance. Bruno Fernandes' captaincy. Moving on, as the captain of Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes has found himself under scrutiny amid the team's recent poor performance. Questions have been raised about his captaincy and some of his individual displays, yet he remains the primary catalyst for action in the squad. Fernandes consistently ranks at the forefront in terms of attacking and creative output in the Premier League. However, the added responsibility of captaincy has sparked debates about his suitability for the role, particularly when his frustration on the field becomes evident during challenging moments. There's a fine line between Fernandes' commendable work rate and determination to win and moments of visible frustration and petulance. Perhaps the burden of being the creative force was already substantial for Fernandes, and leading the team may have added an extra layer of responsibility that he didn't necessarily need. Criticism of Fernandes' captaincy, exemplified by Keane's harsh judgment, is not unprecedented. However, the bigger question arises: if Fernandes is having an off game or is effectively marked by opponents, who else in the United squad steps up? So far, there hasn't been a clear answer. Despite the debates about Fernandes, he may not be the core problem. The issue might lie in how he is utilised within the system and whether the decision to make him captain was the right one. Nonetheless, Fernandes should be considered an integral part of any solution. To address the ongoing challenges, Ten Hag must ensure that he maximises Fernandes' creative abilities by strategically positioning other players. This involves both tactical considerations and ensuring that players are well prepared and possess the necessary qualities to capitalise on the chances created by the Portuguese playmaker and generate opportunities of their own. Playing style. This brings us to another issue at Manchester United. While the current state of the club isn't conducive to genuine success, it's essential to recognise that no manager is without fault. Every post-Ferguson manager has made mistakes at different points. Ten Hag is currently following the trend of second-season syndrome that has plagued the club in the last decade, where initial positivity often fades away in the second full season, a pattern that even David Moyes didn't escape. After a relatively solid and defined system last season, United seems to have veered into uncertainty. The players appear bewildered, Tactics lack coherence, and current selections and substitutions defy logic. Questions arise. Why was the sole centre defensive midfielder, Sofyan Amrabat, taken off at half-time against City? Why was Rasmus Højlund substituted when a goal was needed? Why did Johnny Evans start over Raphael Varane? What's happening with Mason Mount? While United may be a challenging club to manage, Erik, don't exacerbate the situation. Comments resembling Ajax's style were narrow-minded. Simply put, this year, the Dutchman has been unable to establish a clear playing style. In Jamie Carragher's words, United plays underdog football, with a shocking attempt to play out from the back. Carragher notes their reliance on counter-attacks and long balls, a style uncommon among top teams. Beyond not playing attractive football, United struggles to score goals and concede too much. Despite facing 3 of the bottom 5 teams, United have scored just 12 goals in 11 Premier League games. To put it into perspective, every team above them in the league table has scored at least twice as many goals. Injuries. To cut United some slack, injuries have wreaked havoc this season. A combination of seemingly overly intense training sessions and other factors has resulted in an alarming number of injuries for the club. There are also concerns about the fitness and medical teams. At the beginning of the season, United didn't even have a full-time club doctor. Additionally, questions arise about how Lisandro Martinez was permitted to play with an unhealed broken foot. The multitude of injuries, particularly in the defensive department, has disrupted a team already struggling with confidence and lacking depth, to an extent that few could have predicted. Owners. Lastly, but certainly not least, there's the issue of ownership and the pervasive toxicity associated with the Glazers era at Old Trafford. Over the past decade, since Ferguson's retirement, Manchester United as a club has experienced a noticeable drift. A widely agreed upon sentiment is the sense of stagnation under the Glazers' ownership, affecting various aspects of the club and its business. Starting with the stadium, which nowadays is seldom referred to as the Theatre of Dreams, it has lost its status as a state-of-the-art facility, let alone being considered first class. The infamous leaky roof, particularly unwelcome in rainy Manchester, has become a symbol of United's perceived regression under the current ownership. Despite being a host for the Euro 96 semi-finals, Old Trafford hasn't even made the shortlist for Euro 2028. Gary Neville highlighted, "The reality is that nothing is going to change while you've got this cultural uncertainty at the top of the club. The ongoing potential takeover process remains a significant cloud over a club paying the price for the Glazers' prolonged lack of effective leadership." Despite hopes that the Glazer family would depart after United announced a strategic review in November, nearly a year later the club is still up for sale, and the saga shows no signs of resolution. The frustration grew when Sheikh Jassim recently withdrew from the seemingly endless process, leaving Sir Jim Ratcliffe as the potential buyer for around 25% of the club. While the deal has not been formally finalised, it would grant Ineos significant influence in sporting matters. Amidst this, there are clear areas on the football side that require a shake-up, and those involved in the potential purchase will be closely monitoring the managerial situation. Do you agree with our analysis? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons. Also, if you're interested in the Premier League team of the season so far, click here to watch our latest video. Thank you.